In this video, we're going to be talking about 6 ways that you can start making money online right now. As we go through these 6 different options, we're going to be showing you how easy it is to get started, what tools you need, and number 3, the first step in launching each of these ideas. Number 1, coaching. This is perfect if you already possess a skill and you've been doing this as a freelancer or in a job, and now people are wanting to know how they can do it also. You can look at this as one-on-one tutoring or one-to-many, a group style of coaching. For example, if you have a certain certificate or you have credentials, say for instance, you're a massage therapist and people are trying to figure out how they can pass their national exam, you can teach them. Another example would be you have a drone license and now you're going to be teaching others what they need to know, what they need to study in order to get that license as well. What skill do you have that people ask about and you can start coaching? On a scale 1 to 5, I would rate this as 1 because what you're going to be able to do is just talk about your skill. You're going to be able to record the sessions and then be able to repurpose it later. So all you need to do is have a skill that you're proficient in and go from there. Regarding the tools, you can start this for free. All you need to do is have something where you're recording the session. You can do this with Google Meetup. Is it called Google Meetup now? Google keeps changing their names, but basically Google's version of Zoom if you don't want to pay for it. Or you could use the limited version of Zoom to record the calls. Another way, you could just use YouTube as unlisted videos. You just go live and you record them and then you go from there. I personally would use Podia if I'm going to be tutoring or coaching because I can already have the enrollment. People can pay for me using the platform and then I can use whatever I want. Zoom, integration with YouTube, whatever it is for those teaching sessions. I also like Podia because I can create landing pages or sales pages when people are looking up more information before they decide to buy sessions with me. And I can also integrate it with having a chatbot if I don't want to be online. So then they can get FAQs or access to testimonials. I can set all that stuff up using Podia. Next, we think about how you're going to launch this. How are you going to make your first sale? Look around where people are trying to gain your skill. If it's a credential or a license, where did you go to school? What association was it? Then you can tap right into it. Maybe they have a newsletter or they have a meetup group or they have in-person or online classes. Go back to your alumni or talk to different entities to be able to do this. Number 2, knowledge as a service, CaaS. This is where you're going to be bundling your knowledge and people are going to be paying to gain access for this. Simply put, this could even be a database where you have already categorized all of the things that you know and people are now getting access to this. We're rating how hard this is. I would give it a 0.5 star if that's even possible, because what you could be doing is this is a low lift. Everything that you know, you can just drop it into a Google Doc or an Airtable, and then you can just sell access to this. If you look at something like Get Cyber Leads, they actually do that. It's a curated Airtable. I think they're still using Airtable right now of all the businesses that have just raised money, and then they sell that out. If you have access to a certain industry or insiders or have just a bunch of information that's really hard to get or even find, you put that into a spreadsheet and you just sell access to it. I've seen this also with influencers. If you know certain agents that represent a lot of people and it's really hard to get hold of people, you can already charge them for access to them and then upcharge them if you want an intro to that person, because not only this, you're putting your reputation on the line if you're doing that intro. So you're going to charge them more. Just an idea. Now, when we talk about the tools, you can use this with Google Sheets. Like I mentioned, Get Cyber Leads even uses Airtable. It doesn't have to look prestigious. If you're curating this and this is something super special, you can definitely do this and take advantage of it. Another way to look at this, maybe you're not selling access to someone, but maybe all the things that you've learned over time. And if that's saving people time and energy, that's worth something as well. In fact, we do this with Docs. It's all of my best of notes that I take when I'm trying to experiment and learn something. We sell that as a knowledge as a service. You can do the same thing, and we use Notion. You can use the free plan, you'll be good to go. Now, if I was going to scale this and I want to have access in different topic areas and things like that, then I would use Podia. I would use the membership so I could create a community. I could have even different tiers in the community to sell knowledge as a service. In the comment section down below, let me know if you have a skill or you have knowledge of something that you can now monetize. First step to launch, you need to think about what industry are you in, and do you even have the connections for this? Now, I said this is like a 0.5 to get started, how easy this is, but I will say you have to be connected, or you have to be in the industry or know someone in order for this to work. If you've never worked in this field and you want to just go gung-ho and start selling knowledge as a service and you have no credibility or people don't know who you are, this could be difficult. So if you're already in the industry, you already know the major players, you have a good rapport with them, this is something to do. But remember, you don't want to just lowball everyone and try to make a cash grab, right? Because if you've already got a list of maybe 1,000 or 500 people that you've known throughout the years, and you're just saying, I'll sell it for $50 per person, and people just start getting this list and hounding these people, they're going to know it's you. So think about how much is that worth? What's the reputation? So there's a lot of things to consider as you're going through this. That brings us into building a community. Now, a community, I'm going to say that's going to be closer to 3 or 4 stars out of 5 because it is easy to get started. You can just have a Facebook page or something to really begin with. But to create a community, that takes a lot of work, and you've got to time it with momentum, what's going on with the market. There's a lot of moving parts, and you're constantly going to be building that flywheel, that continual process of content and engagement with your community. You can do this by yourself, but it can be taxing. This depends on how much energy you want to put into this project, but a community is pretty high up there on the demands of your energy and time. Yeah, as I'm thinking about this might be 4.5 or 5 stars. This can be really profitable, but it does take a lot of time, energy, and patience. If we're looking at tools, it really just depends on how you're going to try to keep the community together. You can use subreddits. Just create a subreddit. You can just name it something and then get people in. You can create a Facebook group, a LinkedIn group, you name it. Whatever major platform you want to use, you can create a group pretty much. Now, I would personally run my community on Podia. Now, you might be saying, like, why are you using this again? And we'll talk about this in a moment. But the reason I like Podia again, because it's allowing me to have all these different streams of income under one house. So instead of me Frankensteining together what I want and having 10,000 zaps going on in the background, I can just start building my digital empire on one platform and then have all of these different entry points to get people to experience my brand. Another thing I like about Podia is the flexible layout. I can build a very concise and clean looking community. I can track how people are engaging. And again, if I want to message them, they can email, all those things. I can do this all under one house. Also, if I want people to have access to my knowledge as a service, different digital products, courses, it all feeds into one platform. So I'm not having my audience be able to create a login for every single different type of content I'm creating. I can do this all from one place with Podia. And depending on the tier level in the community, I can give them access to other courses or other things that I have on the platform itself. Again, it streamlines my brand and it streamlines my thought process of connecting all of these systems together. The first step, you can be just seeing what people need and create a community. For example, shout out to Max from 100 Days of No Code. He started this about 2 years ago in the beginning of the pandemic. He was doing 100 Days of No Code. He started it on Twitter. He put up a very simple landing page, and then he was just asking people, would you like to learn no code in 100 days? Guess what? Now he's doing great things. It's 2 years later. He's got cohorts, and I'm proud to say that I'm part of the community for a number of years, and I love it. I refer people all the time, but it took a lot of time and energy. You can do the same exact thing by different challenges. There is 100 days of everything, 100 days of community, 100 days of code. You can do this by having a challenge and then invite someone. You can do this for free and then be able to scale from there. Next up, digital downloads. This is perfect because if you're trying to create a resource guide, a checklist, something that is really valuable, but it could be free and you're just having them opt in into your network, into your community, you can be using a digital download. Not only does it have to be free, but it also can be paid. If it is solving a problem, you can use it as a digital download and people can buy it. I see this a lot with Notion templates. Those are just going crazy. Shout out to Marie. Take a look at what she's doing. I buy her templates all the time and I buy tons of Notion templates. People do this all the time. Now, to get started with this, if you're already doing something like Notion and people love your standard operating procedures or what you do, you can just duplicate that Notion template and then go out and sell it. I'm going to give this 0 stars out of 5. I mean, literally, all you have to do, if you're already using something like Google Docs or something like that, you say, allow them to duplicate it or copy it, and then you sell it. That's it. Okay, maybe I'll give it a 0.5 because you're going to need to set up and say like how much you want for people to pay for it. But that is probably the lowest threshold to get started. That's why I love digital downloads, digital products like this. Mwah, the chef's kiss. This is what I love. To do this, if we're going to do this for free, you can use Gumroad or something like that, where they're just taking a percentage of every sale. So you can't say, hey, doc, like I don't have money for Podia. Well, just use Gumroad. Just use Gumroad and they'll just take a percentage. Now, I personally would use Podia because I do not want a percentage or transaction fee every single time. Also, with Podia, I can just do upsells. So if they're already liking something and they're at checkout, I can always offer a discount on another course or the community after they're getting that digital download. Makes it simple, and now I can just upsell easily. Here are a few things that you can sell as a digital download. You can create ebooks, templates, bundles, audio files, music, free lead magnets. You can do tons of things with digital downloads. And again, it's a great way for people to experience your brand for the first time and then go deeper into your ecosystem. Next up, creating courses. I would have this as 3 out of 5 stars. This takes a little bit more work, but I think if you do this in the right order, such as creating a digital download, creating one-on-one coaching or one-to-many coaching, you can use what has worked and then create your online course with ease. Why? Because you already have seen what works. If you've done coaching and you already have a systematic approach, just take the recordings or take the same exact formula that you do with one-on-one or group coaching, and then you make it async with a course. You already know it's going to work. You already have the testimonials because in the coaching calls, they've already said that they love your system or whatever you did, your methodology. Then you just put that on autopilot with a course. Now, keep in mind, you could repurpose the sessions you've had or, workshops and recut it, or you might have to re-record it. And that's why I'm putting it at a 3 out of 5. If you totally repurpose it, I think you can drop it down 1 star, but to really streamline that course that it looks nice, all of those things, you're going to have to probably re-record certain areas or pivot because you've learned certain things past the one-on-one, or it's not applicable for what you did on one-on-one or one-to-many in your group coaching, and now you have to make it for a larger audience. You might need to make changes. So those are things to consider when you're making your online course. If we're looking at tech for this, I would look at using Podia. I mean, if I was going to do it free, this is kind of hard. Online courses would be hard to do free. Okay, you could do it free if you're using something like Udemy or something like that. But again, they're going to be taking a percentage and you don't own it, right? You're putting it on their platform. But the pros on the other side would be they're bringing the audience to you. So if you want to start for free and you want to test it out and have a larger audience, you could definitely do it with Udemy, and then you could bring it over to a platform like Podia. Now, there are tons of different platforms, LMSs out there, learning management software like Teachable, Kajabi, the list goes on and on. Why do I like Podia? I like it because it has the ecosystem effect where I can be bringing in other different types of content or types of services that I offer, and then it's all under one house. This really depends on the functionality that you want and what you like. I personally have used Teachable since 2014. I've used Kajabi. I've used the major players, but I keep coming back to Podia over and over again. And that's because I can just do a lot with it. In the comment section down below, do you already sell courses? What platform do you use and why? And last but not least, would be SWAS. SWAS is software with a service. And this is really, really powerful. This is what we did when we first started the agency. What is SWAS? You can help your clients, you can render a service, but then you ask them, with their consent, you ask them, hey, if you like what I'm doing and I'm using a certain software, would you like to use the software X and use my affiliate code? So not only are you getting paid for the service, but even if you leave the client, they are still using your affiliate code and you're getting paid monthly or yearly from the software. So a lot of people are like, well, affiliate marketing, I've got to have a list and build and da 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 da. Yeah, but if you start as a freelancer, you're starting in that consulting spot as well. You can be offering a real solution for them and then go from there. I'm going to give you a pro tip. I never just give my client one choice, be like, oh, I love Podia, you've got to use Podia. No, I'm saying here's the pros and cons. Here's the pros and cons if you use Kajabi or Teachable. This is why I use Podia. This is what I'm doing with it. And if you decide to go with Podia, here's my affiliate link. I try to make sure that it's balanced and people can decide for themselves. And you know what? I've had clients and they're like, yeah, hey, thanks, doc. I'm going to go with this one over here. No big deal. I still work with the client, still get paid for that. But with software with a service, I can get an extra revenue source. And two, I can now become an expert of a certain type of platform or software doing a very specific skill. For example, we used to build a lot of courses for people. We were known as course creators or being the operations side of that. But then we got very specific and then people knew us because of Podia. You can do the same thing with anything from an LMS to a CRM like ConvertKit, MailChimp, or whatever you want to use. Now that you have 6 different ways to be making money with a side hustle, it's time for you to decide which way you're going to be going. In the comment section down below, let me know 1 through 6, which one are you going to be using and why? And if you like these kind of videos, make sure that you like and subscribe. We do this every single week. I'll see you in the next video.